We're close to it, isn't
Yep.
We have anything else for the dock closed
It
out?
is 7 o'clock, call the meeting to order, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Chapman?
Here.
Clark?
Here.
Wallace?
it? Here.
Patton?
Here.
Tyler? Absent. Belknap? Absent. Hackett?
Here. Got a couple of items to add to the agenda under action items. On D, it says approved payment request for installation of docks, just put project complete after that. So our motion will include that statement. And then E, install a street light on Maple Street. Beyond that, I think the agenda's fine. Need a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Support? Been moved and supported. Accept the agenda as amended. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Motion to approve the minutes of the October 10th meeting.
I move to accept.
Support.
Been moved and seconded to accept the minutes of the October 10th, 2018 meeting. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, motion is carried. Public comment?
Sure, I'll talk about chamber events, if
If
that's
you-
all right.
If you want to, sure.
Okay. Window night is gearing up, fast and furious. We, Matt worked with Ralph earlier and took the lights off the old tree. So those are down. We are gonna try the concept of another tree someplace else.
The third one worked, the other ones are
Shot.
shot, yeah.
We haven't quite determined that location yet. The DDA would kind of like it in Sage Park, but we have the reindeer there. And we think it would be congested to do both. So we're still kind of trying to figure out where we could put the tree and then maybe move it to the park after the reindeer leave, kind of concept.
You could have it on a trailer, build, you could put it in your lot in front of there, or for the classic pizza, or we've got the trees donated for the time.
Yes, Porcupine Hollow is going to donate two trees. One we'll use for the tree lighting ceremony, the other we're going to put in the gazebo. And we're going to decorate and light up the gazebo
Which people down by the park or
behind the cabin.
behind the cabin?
Behind the cabin, yes.
So you get the electric turned on.
Gotta get the electric turned on, I'll do that. We've been watching too many Hallmark Christmas movies, so figured we would do something with the gazebo this year.
We have plenty of lights though, donated and
Yep.
purchased, so.
Great.
So that's, we're working on that. We also may open the Children's Museum that night. If we can, we're looking to get some volunteers, and I think we may have enough that if we have someone sit there, we can open it up for the night. Did anyone, I should have asked Jackie, and I haven't had a chance, did anyone ask for road closure for window night? And is it too late?
It's too late. I think we're 21 days at least. So
21 days. Okay. So I would ask.
it'd be pretty tough to do this time of year just because it's so dark and we gotta reroute them. So
Right.
we'll have 2 police cars patrolling and they'll hopefully slow traffic down as we go down Main Street. So.
Didn't we have before, like signs they put up, said slow, event going on or something like that?
I
If I
don't
remember correctly. No, I swore last year at window night they had some right around the Masonic Temple, they had something there that's kind of similar.
Yeah, Sam's not here, he'd be the one to know that, but.
Okay.
If you
I
run
don't know if
into
we
it,
have signs like that.
I don't remember seeing any of them, but
Any suggestions on the tree placement?
Sage Park, that's one I suggested, so, and that came from Brian. So.
Isn't the reindeer gonna be up front by
Yeah.
the sidewalk? Can we put the tree in the back for,
Yeah, yeah, but for the lighting
Couple
ceremony,
hours.
then everyone, it'd be kinda congested, cause they can't get
It
around
would
the
be,
deer.
it wouldn't be seen very far, you couldn't,
Yeah.
unless you're right there in that area.
yeah,
Unless we could get it up on some sort of a platform, so it sits above.
Well, again, put it in the trailer and then pull it forward. If I've got a trailer and Chambers had a trailer, seats a little amazing, so
Oh, oh,
we've got a trailer used for clothes, so.
put the float trailer in there, put it up on the float trailer.
How big is the tree?
Don't know yet.
Pretty size, I'm assuming it's
Big
pretty.
Oh,
as you
yeah,
get, yeah.
yeah. I'm sure it'll be good.
Because it wouldn't be, you know, if it's on the trailer, it really, I mean, put it in Bill's parking lot and then just back across the street, basically. I mean, it's,
yeah.
Okay. Do that.
because then it's more visible and more.
Right, right on the
accessible.
corner.
Yeah.
I said if we had a roundabout, that'd be great, we put it right in the center.
Oh, you'd leave it in front of the
Yes.
red door.
Is Santa Claus gonna be up at the Pelican again?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not gonna take up Bill's spot there.
You don't get over that bill or what do you think about that, or?
No problem.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Probably a good spot for it, then.
good spot.
All right,
Yeah, that'd be a good spot.
all right, we put it there.
Smooth, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have anything else?
No, the tree was a good thing.
Okay,
Okay,
that's it.
thank you. Reports, police, Scott's not here, DPW, Sam's not here. And I don't think there's anything going on between the two of them that needs to be discussed tonight, so.
Can I talk about the
Yes.
DPW? Down at number 13, Rob Silk and his crew spent 3 or 4 days here running new wires on for the lights from Main Street down Old State to Herrick, and had a few little kinks we had to get them back on, but they all seem to be working now, so. Sam and the guys spent a lot of time on a couple of the lights, trying to get them fixed, but they all seem to be on, and so hopefully we will have better luck with them than we had in the last couple of ones, so this is kind of a test trial.
Yeah, hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Correspondence, I don't know, everybody received the copy of the chamber newsletter, which is very good, thank you. And I think everything else is, we had communications out. Oh, I do have something else. Pat Antrim wrote us a letter of thanks for supporting the Pat Antrim program. Dina Jardee, they raised over $22,000 to help support the mission to protect our water resources. So they've awarded over $19,000 in little grants since 2015, and we're just appreciative of our support. And at the request of the council last meeting, I wrote to the president and board of directors for the East Jordan Family Health Center. It says, on behalf of the Central Lake Village Council, I'm writing you to encourage you and the East Jordan Family Health Center Board of Directors to do all you can to replace Dr. Jean Haberer in your Central Lake facility. We know you believe in the importance of a health center to a community, and we are hoping that you will continue your commitment to staff Central Lake. We understand there are challenges in the healthcare profession that may make the task of finding a replacement difficult, but we can't emphasize enough how vital it is to Central Lake to have your clinic available to our residents. If there is anything we as a community can do to facilitate the process of finding a replacement, please let us know. Thank you last 15 years, and we look forward to your service in the future. So, and through the grapevine, we've been told that they are trying to find a replacement, which is good. So, how long it's gonna take, that's the challenge. And
Position gone?
I'm sorry?
Position's gone.
She left in July. Moved to Colorado.
Well, they just hired 3 new doctors in Charlevoix at the clinic there, so maybe we can get one of them. Greenberg's over here.
Did everybody receive the statement from Brian Graham regarding the marijuana passage, proposal 1 passage? Okay. I don't know if you guys got it or not. At some point in time, we're gonna have a discussion regarding this as to what we want to do. I'm not prepared to do it tonight. We have a year to get it done. But just for your information, that's out there. And I think we can move on. And I'll cover that underline. Okay. Committee report, Lyle, street sidewalks.
I have nothing.
Okay. Sewer and water, Leila.
No.
Bill, law enforcement.
Just as Scott's been doing a lot of training on various things, I suppose that's, I just covered that on here. I don't think of anything else, no. Just spend a lot of time in school.
Rob's not here. Brian, finance and personnel.
Halloween, my wife and I handed out cider and donuts, compliments of the village. People were very appreciative of, it was a beautiful night, which helped, but people was very appreciative that the village is willing to do that every year. And I bet you there was 300 or 400 people that went by there. And we had it from 5 to 8, the trunk or treat was from 5 to 7. Next year, I would like to see, whenever trunk or treat is over, have the 2 coincide with each other. Because from 7:15, 8 o'clock, we didn't get hurt anybody else. So, Rachel, if you all have this yellow sheet, or this orange sheet here, got the new meeting dates of the council for next year. If you see on there that it's blank for the winter hours, Rachel gave me her new hours for the winter based on her classes at Petoskey. Her hours will be Monday and Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed on Friday, which is pretty much like the hours that she had during the summer. And so we said that we was willing to adjust hours because of her taking the classes up in Petoskey. So, and she will be done with them in the spring, she thinks, for a while.
What were the days, what days were those? I'm sorry, let's see.
She also gave me the 2019 reservations for the campground, and so far we have $58,607 in reservations, and we have collected $30,327 collected so far. So it looks like next year is going to be another good summer. I think this summer set a record, and next year is going to be even better with a start like this. So that's good.
Doing a good job down there.
Lyle does a good job. The new docks look wonderful. Everybody's very,
Glad.
they really
Good.
like. I'd like to see a few things done different on them, but a couple things, nothing major. But I'll bring that up later. That's all I have, thanks.
Okay. My report, I am pleased to report that our planning commission has met, and we are a membership of 5, thanks to these 2 people in the audience, and that guy down there, and myself, and who's our 5th?
Mike Lennon.
Mike Linton, yes, thanks. So we have a meeting again tomorrow night, and we're pursuing the zoning ordinance changes that were recommended by the consultants through the Rising Tide project. So there will be a public hearing, I'm guessing, at 7 o'clock on our December meeting night. And we'll close that, and we'll move into our regular board meeting. We also met for the DDA, however, there was no quorum, so we had to not meet. We met but didn't meet officially. We talked over a couple of things. The primary activity right now is to finish pursuing, complete the branding process, and Matt's wife Jennifer has worked extensively with the Pure Michigan folks in Lansing that we got tied to through the Rising Tide, and at some point they're going to recommend to us to
Promise
accept.
me the December meeting, she will present to this group and probably you, Larry, a little bit before that, I got that. That's
So-
her tonight, so.
Super. And then after that, I suggested that I'd like the DDA to pursue new banners for the light poles and to make them seasonal, so four different ones for the season. And it's my intention to budget for the DDA to cover those costs through their budget, so money will come from us, because we all know right now that the DDA is not self-sustaining, but hopefully 20 years in the future they will be, or sooner, if we can make all of Next month, we'll start the budget process. I will have a working budget for everybody for December that we can discuss in January, that we can approve in February before our March 1st deadline. So, the marijuana proposal that just passed will require an action on our part in the future, as I said a little bit earlier. And we'll get further in depth with that. This is something down the road that you need to prepare yourself for. I read the letter to the East Jordan Health Center and Battle Antrim, so that completes my report for the night, unless somebody has any questions. Thank you. Huh?
Do we need to vote or anything on the planning commission membership, or?
It's under our action
Oh, it
items.
is, I'm sorry, okay.
No, not a problem.
Okay.
We're good. Need to pay the bills. Prepaids of $13,265.96. Payroll of $6,259.77. Payables $11,504.03 for a total of $31,029.76.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills as approved.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Roll call.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lois?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Yes. New business, 2019-20 budget, we'll start that next month. Proposal 1, we talked about, and MML recommendations. That one we haven't talked about yet. That is, we've had a couple of insurance claims through our MML pool of insurance, and they're asking us to adopt risk management is good management. It's a program, and I didn't get online to take a look at it, but everybody's got a copy of this, I believe, that yes, you do. So between now and next month, I ask that you find yourself a computer where you can look this over and we can discuss it intelligently and act upon it in hopes that that may, by adopting that program, that'll keep our rates down a little bit. And I don't know, it doesn't say they're gonna punish you if you don't adopt it, but it makes sense to me that they might if we didn't adopt it. Huh? Yeah, so, yeah. So, but everybody take a look at it, just so you know what you're talking about, if possible. And that's it for that. Action items. Mr. Gabris, need a motion to appoint him to our Central Lake Planning Commission.
I make a motion to commission.
Second.
Been moved and supported to appoint him. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Good job, man. You need to get sworn in,
Okay.
and Judy Township Clerk will do that.
Sure, okay.
Rachel's gotta get her notary public license, and once she does that, then she can swear people in as well, so.
All right.
So, you gotta meet with her at your convenience, she's here most every day. Next item, approved meeting dates for 2019. We have January 9th, February 13th, March 13th, April 10th, May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, August 14, September 11, October 9, November 13, December 11, 2019. And our regular council meetings will begin at 7 p.m. on those dates, which is the second Wednesday of each month. And as far as we know, we will meet here as always. Winter and summer hours have been set through this flyer, but just in case, we'll repeat again, Monday, Wednesday. The winter hours are Monday, Wednesday, 7:30 to 4:30, Tuesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Summer hours will be Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4. Need a motion to adapt the meeting dates for 2019.
Make that motion.
Second.
Been moved and supported. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Approved invoice from Gordy Fraser for $1,225 for working on the Rising Tide. The docks, basically. They were our overseer for the construction of those to make sure the company installers did it correctly. And it appears as if they have, so I guess we can pay Gordy Fraser.
I'll make a motion to pay Gordy Fraser.
Support.
Been moved and supported to pay Gordy Fraser's $1,225. All in favor of the motion, roll call.
Jack,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Loveless,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes. Okay, I don't know how many of these pieces of paper you guys received, but since the project is complete, I got letters to the same from Gordy Fraser's to say that from their perspective it is complete. We've got a document from the contractors to say that they feel they've fulfilled their job, and they are now requesting $55,470 to get paid for their efforts. I see nothing in this paperwork that indicates that we need to withhold anything, so.
What is that site restoration? What did they do?
Probably not much, because they didn't disturb anything, so. really, they just attached what they put in the boardwalk that was installed a year ago. So,
Well, if you want, and the intent, because the area was kind of considered wetland, and so they had to go through permits. If they had to mobilize any equipment, bring any pads in, and if they disturbed any grass, you know, it was just a responsibility for them to clean up their messes. That's basically what it was. And I guess to add to this paperwork, if I may, Larry, what you do have is, you have a maintenance bond, so in the event that the company does default, which I don't anticipate, they've been around for a very long time, you have access to a bond, through, maintenance bond, or, Cincinnati Bond Company, which is, you know, a large-based company. And then in addition to this, we had also, part of this project, required the contractor to provide you a full 5-year warranty for the dock to anticipate any settling, just because the piles they did have to drive in were a lot deeper than we had originally anticipated. We'd send our inspector out with waders and go out there and do DCPs to kind of get an idea. And there is a lot of muck, as you guys probably know a lot better than I do. So they did have to put a lot of effort in and drive those piles in. We had anticipated 16 feet, and in actuality, they probably hit about 25 feet deep. So that's why the cost did come in higher, but it was still under our original budget. And we were very pleased with the contractor, they did an excellent job. I checked with Sam and Rob Tyler as well. So Brian, I don't know, you had indicated.
Well, that one dock is handicapped, it's got the post on there.
Yep.
I'd like to see that on all of them.
Oh.
But I think it's something that our guys
Yes,
can do.
yes, Lyle had brought that to my
Yeah,
attention too.
because
Yeah.
my wife and I walked out
cleats.
there and it just seems like it's,
So the cleats were a requirement for ADA compliance,
Yeah.
as is the handrails. They weren't a requirement for the other docks.
I'd just like to see that done, but I think it's something that Sam and the guys
Sure.
can do in the spring.
Sure.
It's a safety hazard.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
definitely safety.
But they're good.
I think, yeah, no, they turned out wonderful. I drove out here a couple weeks ago, and no, again, I was very impressed with Lake Shore. They did an excellent job. And I think the ducks, but yes, I can, and Sam had talked about that for
Yeah.
police too, and I know, you know, that's an item he can definitely
Right.
put on himself. It will be more cost effective if the village takes on that than we ask the contractor.
Right.
But if that's, yes, if that was
That's
just,
all
oh, okay, well, that's easy.
No, everything was good.
Thank you. No, it was a great project. I'm glad we could help with that, so.
Just to let everyone know that once this $55,470 gets deposited into an account, I will write a check. So it's not coming from our,
I was
mean,
gonna ask
I'm
if we
writing
got
a
the money
check,
yet.
but
we have to approve it before the
Before
state
the
gives us,
state
gives us the money. so.
Yes, because I've been working with Jessica, and so she has all that paperwork. And what I do have tonight, that I'll give to you later, these are all the originals of those documents,
Okay.
so that you can have it for your files. Thank you.
And there's 2 spots I think I have to sign on this. correct?
Yes, yep.
Which I did on these copies, but should I do it on the originals?
Well, the originals are for you, and I can take your copies back and give them to the contractor.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Been moved and supported to pay the contractors for the dock work down in the park. To $55,470. Need a roll call.
Chapman,
Yes.
Lovett,
Yes.
Clark,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Mixed up.
Automatic.
Loveless,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Hager.
Okay, we got an issue over on Maple Street where the condos are across from Alden Lumber, in that those seem to be getting fairly senior citizen oriented. And because of that, it's pretty dark. And we thought, Brian and I talked earlier today, that a street light would help the issues down there. There is a pole right out in front of Alden Lumber, which would be a good security light for them, as well as lighting up the other side of the street for those in the condos, so.
I had a request by a couple of the residents that live on the south side, the side facing Alden Lumber. a lot of those people are still pretty active, and they walk uptown a lot, and this time of the year, that intersection's pretty dark. And so
There's no streetlights on that street.
well, there's one on Elm,
Oh, yeah.
Elm and Maple, and then there's one up by the old potato warehouse building, right behind the post office,
Right.
but that one only works half the time. So we got quite a stretch there in between, we got the parking lot, so I brought it up to Larry today, and he said, you know, we probably should do that.
I don't know what it costs, Sam and I get hold of consumers and say, we want a light here, and hopefully it won't be too steep a price, but, as winter is here, we hopefully can get it done fairly soon, so.
You're good to safety hazard.
Right.
Yeah. So, I guess a motion to proceed with the installation of a light on Maple
We
Street.
requested it be the updated LED version,
Well, our ordinance is
They're
gonna
gonna
change,
put some-
our ordinance is gonna change through what the planning commission is doing. That's gonna require all of our streetlights to meet whatever darkness minimal requirement is out there, and I don't know what it
Get a
is.
head start,
Huh?
get a head start on that.
So you might just as well,
Put a modern one in, so
Yeah,
you
we
get
have
this
one
one.
right up to date with the
Yeah,
rest of them.
exactly.
Is Rob Soap done with the rest of the repairs downtown?
yes.
So it's fantastic with that. And
Just for a point of
Well,
information.
consumers installs those.
yeah, this, they belong to.
Yeah.
We call consumers and they
They will
install,
install it.
yeah, their crews bring them. Yeah, it's
Well, I
basically,
think it's a good idea,
that's
to
good
get
points.
safety.
Then we pay just a flat fee for those streetlights, right?
Mm.
Per light.
It's not gonna flood anybody's front window or anything, is it? It's all about placement.
I don't think.
Should.
I don't
It's on
think-
the opposite side of the street.
Yeah. Those are, the entrances to those are set back for the most part, so I don't think that'll be an issue, and if we get the lights that are required by ordinance, as soon as that passes, then it should be minimal impact, but yet still light the streets so they can see where they're walking, so.
So I'll make that motion.
Sport.
Been moved and supported, and I guess we're spending money, so let's roll call it.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Rosa?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yes. That's it for the agenda, however, since Jennifer is here, she can talk about what she's been doing for us. And I'll have one other announcement after she gets done.
Well, thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
Usually you'll skip me. On purpose.
I
No,
saved the best for
I,
last.
yes, thank you. Well, I figured I'd take my chances and come tonight while the weather's still good.
Very good.
I believe everyone had, an engineering report that I put together for basically what we've been working on for the last couple months for the village. The docks, yes, went well. As you can see, we were about 12,000 under budget, so we're able to utilize that money and apply it to the pavilion, because as we know, construction prices keep going up and it's gonna be a moving target. I've had meetings with several of you as far as some of the specifics on the pavilion, and I anticipate probably next month, I'll probably set up a meeting again so that we can kind of go over some of the architectural plans that we have. Because the next step's gonna be, you know, the important things like picking color and, you know, things like that, and where we want all the outlets and, you know, bathroom fixtures, things of that nature, but we're still on schedule. Been working with Jessica Lobay, who's your grant administrator, and she's been making my life a lot easier, so we don't have to do all that paperwork, so that's very nice to have her for a resource. As far as the Networks Northwest grants, I think you guys are aware that, congratulations, we did get some money that we had asked for, and so just kind of looking, I'll be working with Larry to kind of target some of those areas as far as, you know, with 15,000 that we have. we had, if you recall, we had applied for a grant last year with a different entity, and we were close to, we were asking for close to $80,000, I think, in sidewalk extensions, so.
I thought it was like 50,
Yeah,
55 or something.
it was substantially more, so with the 15,000, we do have, you know, we can do some repairs, and, so we're kind of just highlighting those areas, and we have all of next year to do that work.
It's my intention to budget for more than that.
Right.
So,
Okay, great,
I mean, 15,000 is, will do more than that.
right, okay, good. Yeah, because that's kind of a drop in the bucket. I know we had a much bigger concept and try to integrate with the township. The tank mixer, I haven't heard anything, so I know it was installed successfully, and I guess the next month will tell how it's gonna work out, because if we're gonna start having freezing temperatures. But as far as I know, talking with Sam, he, out of sight, out of mind, and it's doing its job. Bridge inspection, it did come to our attention at the last minute that MDOT now is requiring annual inspections on State Street Bridge, so, which none of us knew. So GFA, we hurried up, went out there and did the inspection and submitted it to MDOT to meet the annual inspection criteria. We are finding that there is some repairs that need to be done. They were recommended last year with the last bridge inspection, so that's why they're requiring annual ones. Before it was done every 2 years. But there's some scouring underneath the bridge, and there's a lot of the concrete under there. There's been a lot of undermining. And I guess with that channel, you wouldn't expect that to be happening, but it is. And it was identified before, and so the situation's getting worse as far as the scouring and that concrete underneath with undermining. So, and MDOT's changed their criteria. They used to just have it so you just basically pour a bunch of concrete and have a big solid apron underneath. And now the new recommendations MDOT's come out with is they actually want that broken up so that you can relieve some of that pour pressure and just have big chunks of concrete. So I wrote a letter to Sam just to kind of identify, I think a lot of that work your staff can probably potentially do themselves, going with it, if he wants to, going with the jackhammer, and if he has some other big chunks of concrete to put under there just to basically prevent any further scouring or undermining of that bridge.
By scouring, what do you mean?
Well, just wave action, you know, we'll get in and keep,
Wash
Sound like an eroding.
yeah, it's basically a method of erosion, yeah. So you get all this wave action, and then it just keeps beating up against the bridge, and then all the sediment underneath that concrete is just washing out and undermining. So and I got pictures in the report, but there's just big gaps underneath it, around the columns on the bridge. So, and it is getting worse.
Currently, there's big gaps.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, currently there is, and so from a year ago, I have pictures from a year ago and from now, and you can see it is getting worse. So that's the biggest immediate need. And then there's some other, you know, there's some of the sidewalk up above has some gaps, and, you know, that's just more of a safety and handicap accessibility, and Sam's crew can grind those down. You know, that's pretty common everywhere. And then the same thing, the joints, and basically, there's some options available, whether we can peel off the old membrane, put a new membrane on, but those joints on the bridge itself continue as with freezing and expanding and contracting, continue to get wider. But those two other items are not the priority. The priority right now is all the concrete underneath the bridge.
And what kind of cost would you estimate for all of it?
I just started looking at that. I was kind of basically waiting to talk to Sam. He apparently had some computer issues, I think. So I sent him the stuff, he has it, but I wanted to talk to him to see if it's something he's capable to do himself, or if he wants a price for us to help, like write up an RFP to get a contractor to come in and do those items. So I was looking for some direction from him yet. And
Is that something that we would need to break up the concrete, or we could bring in broken concrete and pour it?
both.
Okay.
My thought is let's use the concrete that is there and break it up. But yeah, so Sam knows, I brought paper copies, but I figured he wouldn't be here tonight. And so, yes, it's part of a bigger discussion, and if he wants me to get prices, I'm happy to do that. Sometimes it's easier to have somebody else do it. And then, as far as the MDOT grant, that, if you recall, we applied last year for sewer study, didn't get it, and I talked to Larry and I said, let's brush it up and send it back in again. So it didn't hurt to do that, so I just got that in today. I fixed the spelling of your name. Thank you. So that's what I'm working on for the village. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for me?
I don't think you're doing a tremendous job for us, and I appreciate it. I don't know who else does, but I sure do.
Well, it's my pleasure. I enjoy working with you guys and helping you, so thank you.
Jennifer, where are you based out of?
Traverse City.
Okay.
Okay. I got an email at 6:18 tonight, and I'm gonna share it with everyone. It says, Larry, I've just learned I've been awarded a governor's appointment to a board, and I'm resigning as village council trustee effective immediately. Good luck to you all, Melissa Zelenak. So, I wish her well, and thank her for her service on our council. And I guess from that point on, we don't have to say anything. I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention, she resigned immediately, so. You were talking about something which brought my mind to something else. That's what I look for.
Gotta write it down when you think of it.
It'll come back somewhere down the road. When, who knows?
So talk tomorrow.
Since we're rather informal tonight, amongst friends, anybody have anything else? I think our Chamber of Commerce is doing a terrific job. And I appreciate you guys' involvement and the DDA and Planning Commission. And, as I told the council last month, that we are making changes. They don't come fast, but we are making changes. So our hope through the Planning Commission and getting our zoning revised is that we will then become a designated redevelopment-ready community, which was the goal of the Rising Tide project. And at some stage, when we get our master plan brought up to date, probably the DDA plan that's in the ordinance that created the DDA, get those up to date, then maybe we can start promoting some areas in the village to try to attract some business and get some jobs to come in. But I think we gotta get those other ducks in a row before we get ahead of ourselves, so. And that's been a 2-year process, and it's still going.
That area behind the Borscht, where you do your coals and stuff, that area, what happened to all that? It was voted in that they were gonna do something, but I haven't heard anything since.
Nothing happened, that's Matt's business.
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah, the berms are still back there. You talking about the wastewater system back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, trees have grown through them, so any structural integrity from a DNR standpoint's not there. But I mean, the berms are still there, so I don't think they'll allow open lagoons anymore. But,
Are they gonna do anything with the land itself?
are they, or we, you mean? Yeah.
Well, I don't, but I mean, I understood that somebody bought some of that land back there. No?
No, we bought it 5 years ago this month,
Yeah.
so just all our money in new equipment and, yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but
Okay.
everything's brand new in there. We took everything out from 1974 and put brand new equipment in.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't
credit cards. and-
looked at that close, I just didn't know.
The land we're still talking about, we had Mammoth approach us at one point, they wanted to put something there, but that went fizzled. But, talking about, that a lot of people talk about car washes, campsites and housing and,
All I heard was about Mammoth, and
yeah.
the neighbors were concerned about it.
Brewer got him a building on Torch Lake Drive, so it's okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. But come see us. Free laundry night every second Tuesday.
You have what?
Free laundry, it's actually free laundry
Oh,
morning every Tuesday, every second Tuesday of the month.
I don't think I need to.
Yeah, big comforters, we got big washers and dryers, not too good, info ad, but yeah.
I used it last Thursday for the first time.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Washed some rugs.
What'd you think?
I was impressed. I
Yeah.
didn't realize you could put all of that in there.
Lots
so
and lots of investment in there. Yeah.
Very good.
Same person that does our brand for the village does all the marketing for the Coin Laundry Association nationwide, so.
Very good. Yes, sir, really?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
just professional launders.
Yeah.
They're proud of it, good at it, yeah, so.
Good.
Yeah, I've seen some of the preliminary work with the branding, and it is good. It's very good.
Like I said, it's exciting, it's even gotten better with Pure Michigan itself on there, so.
It's taken a bit of a turn from what was initially done as far as brainstorming was concerned with our expanded DDA group in here. But the fact that Pure Michigan got involved, from my perspective, if they're involved, then we're not expert enough to overrule their.
That's it, it's good, Mary. So far it hasn't cost us anything, she's done taken their direction, she's done the design work and kind of put by their panel of artists and marketers, and it's gonna be good.
Anybody else? Need a motion to adjourn?
We make motion to adjourn.
Been moved and supported that we adjourn. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion has carried, and thank you all for coming. Happy Thanksgiving.